Up close and personal with racers and people of interest in the motorsports world, it's In the Groove, brought to you by Blue Line Graphics. And now, here's your horsepower and performance host, Terry Bridges. What is going on, racers? And welcome to another edition of In the Groove. I'm your horsepower and performance host, Terry Bridges. And man, tonight we got the coolest guest on. Guess what? It's not oval track. It's not karting. It's a little supercross. In the house, we've got a supercrosser extraordinaire, Mr. Ryan Breece. Ryan, what is going on, man?
Hey, DS. How you been, man?
I've
Good to
been
hear from you.
I've been good, bro. It's great to hear from you. Man, you guys got to know. He's currently 24th in Monster Energy Drink Supercross Championship points. Just picked up an 18th at San Diego, a 20th at Anaheim, so he's right in there. And you've got some killer news to even go on top of that. Why don't you let us know the great news that you just found out?
Dude, it's been kind of like a miracle, right, for the year. But I just signed with a new team, Cycle Trader Rock River Yamaha, and they're kind of showing me the ropes, dude. I'm stoked for the year for sure.
You know, and this comes at a time where I know you had to be kind of maybe thinking, geez, I don't know if I'm ever going to get anything. And then bam, this kind of falls in your lap.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 23 years old, been going at it for 5 years now, you know what I mean? When is my time and when am I going to shine? So all of a sudden this thing pops up and we're back on it. We're like gritting, grinding, ready to go.
Now, a lot of the roundy round guys that listen to the show a lot, you know, the sponsorships are one way for these guys, but for the Supercross guys, I mean, how does that work? I mean, obviously that a Rock River Yamaha, but I mean, do you get a salary or you get a percentage of the person? I mean, how does it go?
So, I mean, maybe it's a little bit different for the Supercross standpoint, right? But I'm not on a factory team. I'm on what they call a satellite team, and it's more so for like a bonus structure. So if you're in the main event, top 22 and above, you're making money from the team and from AMA. They've kind of put a little structure and throw a pitch in to where you're going to be getting contingency bonus and team bonus if you're within the 22nd point spot. And if you're in there, you're making money. If you're not in the night main event, then you're only making the AMA purse payout. So they definitely shake you around a little bit. It kind of on the back standpoint, it's a little bit of a show, you know what I mean? But you have to make sure that your rig looking nice for all the sponsors, because the sponsors are putting in so much money for you guys to go 17 rounds of Supercross across state. You know, we're traveling from north to south, back to north again. So you got to put, you know, they're definitely putting money out there. They're trying to get their riders to keep going, keep racing, and they got to have enough drive, you know. So it's making it worth it, but you want to make sure that you're in the main event. You're battling each and every single weekend, and you got a program together, because if you don't have a program together, then you're not going to be succeeding. And I guess from my standpoint, succeeding is getting the money.
I mean, I think it's good that they make you earn it, right? I mean, be pretty easy to do the other way. Be easy to get lazy. So you got to earn your keep. That's a good thing. But what about expenses and stuff? I mean, do they cover that, or is it still on you? And then you got to kind of get reciprocated back depending on how you finish in the main.
You know, that's what's cool about the whole Cycle Trader Rock River team. I was doing it on my own for a while, but now that I'm on the team, they have a rig and everything, so it's more compromisable for me. So they're paying for me to get to the races, you know, the flights and the hotels, and trying to minimize the stress level so I can just come there, focus on my training and my body to get to the races. So pretty much everything is covered. I got a practice bike and I have a race bike, a good motor behind me, lots of testing and a lot of engineering, you know, so that they're working with me throughout the week on the test track and making sure that I'm comfortable on what I can handle, making sure that it's not too much and everything. So they cover a lot of things, and dude, it's been so good so far, man. I've tested past 2 weeks last week before the race, because I just signed Tuesday. That's when I received the phone call, and it's making it manageable for me, you know what I mean? But I definitely have to put out some money to make some money, right? But I guess that's kind of realistic, right?
You gotta have some skin in the game, bro, right? Let's not joke ourselves here. That stuff, you know, hotels and flight, eating, I mean, that's the stuff that'll break a guy. I mean, you know, getting in and doing what you need to do, that's one thing, but getting there and all the travel and all this, I mean, you gotta go broke trying to do that.
Yeah, that takes a huge burden off my back, you know what I mean? So that's what's cool about the whole thing. And that's why I'm so stoked about signing with those guys. And the Rock River crew have been so good to me too the past pretty much week and a half. And they're filling me in their spot, dude. So I'm liking it. I know, and I have confidence in myself that I'm gonna put results for the team, and more specifically for myself, because that's what I want. I'm focusing on me, and the team's focusing on me too. So the past week's been great, and I'm stoked to have something that I've been dreaming about to make everything non-stressful, and so I can focus on my body and put results in.
For the listeners out there that might not know, quickly, if you can, take us through a day of Ryan Breece. You've got an event coming up in, like, say, 2 weeks. What's your daily grind like?
So pretty much taking you through my life, like my Monday through Thursday schedule is like I'm waking up and I'm trying to get to the gym and also put in a good, I'd say, 60 to 80 laps within a day, trying to scrounge that in, as well as like a cycle, even like a Bikram yoga session and stuff like that. But towards the end of the week, I'm focusing more on recovery so I can have that Friday off and focus on Saturday. But we're definitely putting in, I think it was, I don't know what my trainer would say, but I think it's around 120 miles on the bicycle during the week before Thursday, right? So stationary cycle does not mean anything. We don't count any miles in that. And I believe we're about 40 to 50 miles of just recovery cycle in. And we have to get to the masseuse and also the chiropractic procedure too. So like we're just focusing so much on our body so we can be all prepped up for Saturday. But eating healthy is definitely a big strategic maneuver as well. So it's like Monday through Wednesday, focusing on just eating clean and getting to the gym in the morning or in the afternoon, whatever's going to fit in your schedule, as well as getting your 60 to 80 laps in on the test track so we can test for the team, make sure the bike's all good, and getting our laps in. Get your reps in, man. Get your reps.
You're up at Don's Crack, right? 6 o'clock or before, and at the gym by 8, at the track by 1, or
I try not to be like too strict about it because we have to have so much fun about it, but like in order for us to succeed. But it is, we're waking up at 6:30 in the morning and we're going on a cycle already. Like we're already warming up, and then we got to hit the gym at 8 o'clock. And if you're not there at 8, then you're going to be showing up to the test track at 8 a.m. and you're going to get your laps in from like, I don't know, I'd say probably like 8:30 to 2 o'clock. And then you'll be meeting the dude at the gym, meeting your trainer at the gym at 3 p.m. and you're grinding out for, in about an hour. I try not to do anything more than that, and I'm kind of on a schedule or a good routine as well. So like I don't want to overfight what the trainer has, So like I'm always trying to push harder, and I feel like that's why I'm at a spot where I am, like a good suitable spot for me, and feeling strong and confident. And we also have to meal prep too, So got to swing by my meal guy. There's also prepped up meals that I got to swing by around 5 to 6, and making sure that I'm eating on time. Get clocked in about 6, and then we have like a little rest period from like 6 to 7, but we're in bed about 8:15, 8:30, and then wake up to see another day.
So needless to say, any partying's out the window then.
Yeah, dude, like I try to celebrate as much as I possibly can, Like if there's a good weekend, I'm going to go celebrate maybe 3 weeks later, but we're in such a small little window grind time where like, dude, the partying's already over. Like we already have that in our, what was it, freshman to senior year of high school. If you went to high school, right? So I'm like on the bare minimum, like I already did all that. So I was focusing on my job, and this is like what my career is, and I'm stoked to be a part of it.
Man, yeah. Any day that you can get up and you're going racing's like a super good day. So for some of the listeners, I'm sure they want to know, let's just chat quickly about how did all this start? Did somebody buy you a dirt bike and you went, oh yeah, this is it? Or did you go somewhere and see it and go, yes, I want to do this? Or how did it all, take us through how it all kind of came together?
So wild you bring it up, dude. It's cool that you do, but it makes me kind of try to shuffle through my memory a little bit, you know what I mean? So gosh, I'm trying to recall, but so we lived in a very small town in Hayden, Idaho. It's up by the northern border of Canada otherwise, and I had always peeked outside the window. I'd always hear this motorcycle start up. Then weeks later, I'd never hear anything. Finally, I caught this guy. He was ripping down the street. I see him just Mach 20, just sending it full gears, twisted, whatever. And I go out there. My dad says, "Where are you going, son?" And I'm 4 years old. I don't know better. I'm just running out there in undies. I hear a motorcycle. It's the ring of my ear. That's what I hear. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm about it. And I try to stop the guy. I wave to him, and he's so cool about it. He ended up stopping right in front of the house. He goes, "What's your name, little buddy?" I just thought the world of him. He's cool. He's cool as all heck, And he ended up being a U.S. military man, and I was just like, no way. So what he would do is he'd be coming every four weeks, or like maybe it was like every 4 months. But at the time I was so young, I feel like time just flew by. Right? Ended up, dude. He's like, "Hey, I got a race coming up at this local event, Greyhound Park. Why don't you come over here? I got some tickets for you. You got your." I knew that my brother knew him as well. He always had boxing matches as training. He was training at the time too, so whenever he was off with the military and stuff, he would always be in the basement training his butt off on a beanbag and punching who knows what. Sometimes my brother, whatever. So I went over there, just kind of met with him, met with his family. He's like, "We got tickets for you." Ran over there that Saturday night at the Greyhound Park facility in Post Falls, Idaho, and I was like, "Well, this is what it is." And my eyes from there, dude, were wide open, complete. Just I don't even know. I saw nothing but dirt bikes, and I was just so glorified about everything that I had seen that night. He ended up racing, so I kind of like caught the whole attention, and from then on, dude, I just been like, "Dad, when are you coming home? Dad, can you buy me a bike?" And just been hounding my father about trying to get on two wheels, So like I love sound of the bike, and he said, "On your 5th birthday, son, if you cooperate with your mother and your family and your brother, then we're gonna take you to the dealership and we're gonna buy you a bike." That day comes around, and I'm on my way to the dealership, dude, and it's just been such a full success from then. Like so much ups and downs, but I'm so thankful that my family actually like took time to realize this is kind of what I want to do. My eyes were so full open, and I met with the dealership, and they had sponsored my dad a little bit to get a discount because at that time we were so rough and so like I don't know, wasn't the wealthiest family in the world, but definitely living healthy. And man, I hopped on that bike, dude, and we actually started performing at the back of the Walmart where it's a private road, private property. We couldn't even ride, but my dad said, "Dude, this is the only time you're going to be able to ride. We live in a neighborhood, buddy. Sorry." After school, shoot, I think I was 5 years old then, and I'd just be begging him. I got out at 2:30 in the afternoon, and I said, "Hey, can we go to Walmart? Can we go to Walmart? We don't need to go shopping, son. We have some food." I said, "I don't want to go shopping.
I want to go
He
ride."
says, Don't tell your mom, but let's load up the bike. We're gonna go rip it."
Oh!
So we just kind of kept that on the low because my mom wasn't about the motorcycles or anything, but she definitely came to the dealership and watched me get surprised with motorcycles. So that was cool. And ever since, man, I've been so addicted to flipping motorcycles and two wheels. I dig it. So,
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, for sure, dude, for sure. And gosh, I would say I just started pursuing that. I had my neighbor, the military man, come over every once in a good while, just kind of give me some pointers and stuff, and just kind of built on that, And then he unfortunately had to go out to, I think he switched up to the U.S. Army and went to like Afghanistan and all that stuff. He asked me if I wanted to carry his number, which was number 21, and it's stuck with me through thick and thin. Put that 21 on there, and I think at the age of 14, that's when it really sparked fire. Like my parents invested pretty much all they had, and they sold their house for a little bit, and they're like, "You know what, like if we need to go racing on the road, let's do it. We want to be full committed because we believe in you." And they saw how much work that I was putting out and the effort that I was throwing into. So I did sports on the side to try to keep me going like athletically and try to get like an academic scholarship type of thing. But unfortunately that didn't work out. But I want to stick with the motocross, and shoot, dude, it's just we're up to par on it now. So
Yeah.
shoot, I turned 15. We went to Loretta Lynn's. They call it now the world's biggest national, and you get a lot of sponsorships. I guess that's pretty much
right.
For an outsider, that's what you do. If you win the championship, you're going to get some sponsorship. So I went there. I won the championship, and didn't get so much the support that I thought I was going to get. Right, so it's like more of a talk type of thing, but we're like, you know what, just keep grinding. We know you got it. We had little local shops, which I was super appreciative that were helping me out, and that's where I started, dude. I started local, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna end local. That's kind of where I'm at. That's where I want to be, and it's been good, dude, for sure.
Wow. Now, And you were a pretty stud football player too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I guess you'd say that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know. I watched you play.
That's
I
what the
thought you were
coach
pretty
said.
good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do have some statistics on that. That was cool. I visited a couple colleges like Montana Western to see if I couldn't play for them in college, and just nothing planned out really. I was trying to go to Boise State and like the Idaho Vandals, but I was just like, you know what, dude? I feel like at the time I was battling an injury, and you guys know how that is. Injuries are no fun.
No, not at
I know
all.
TS, you've been dealing with that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you got to recoup your body and be fully energized if you're trying to make something out of yourself.
Absolutely. I
So,
mean, that's key. You know, and let's roll into that. So you've been to Loretta Lynn's, which you said I didn't get the help I wanted, but still, that's a pretty prestigious deal. I mean, I'm sure you got looks off of that. So, but even that, it looks good on your resume.
right.
So from there you went, and what made you decide that you were going to go supercrossing? Because I mean, that's a pretty big step.
Yeah, it was. So, fortunately, I had a local dealership that would said, hey, you know what? We're going to pitch you some bikes. I ended up getting a proposal together and like try to be somewhat professional, right? As I'm trying to get into this career too when I'm 14 years old, so I know no different. But I put on a suit and tie and I went to a few local companies and I said, hey, I gave them the pitch and threw them that, and they like came together and they said, you know what, we want to support this local boy. Why not? He's from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. He's a young buck, and we watch Supercross as well. I think he can grow in the sport. Why not? Let's give him a chance. So I had a few local companies that rose to the occasion, and I was like, if we can fill the pockets and get the process going where we can pay the entries, pay the flights, and pay the practice fees alongside the practice mechanic and also the motor builder, then I think we can start something. So I'm not out of pocket too much to where I could be making some money at the age of 15 now. Let's do it.
Wow.
So I started, I don't know, I think, I believe it was when the series started, I was about 16, but then I needed to take a year or so off. I needed to like recoup my body. It actually got pretty smashed from football, and I was playing football and basketball, and like, yeah, I know tennis is no big deal, but dude, I had my buddy BJK, Brendan Kane, and we were freaking tag team champions, dude, at tennis.
Wow.
So yeah, no, for sure, and all the sports they take a toll on you, man.
They do. I mean,
Yeah, you're like, yeah, the Riddell helmets were super good and they had a lot of protections, but dude, I had 2 hits on me and I was feeling dizzy,
So you were you were concussed then, basically.
Yeah, for sure, but you never want to like really say that.
No,
public, right?
you don't. But it can go to hell in a hurry. I mean,
yeah, definitely, yeah, for sure, and I realized that, and I had spoke to my parents about it, like, hey, we need some off time, like my head hurts, and let's recoup the brain so I can keep living. It's a good life I'm living.
Dude, that sounds, man, that's quite the story. I mean, especially the military part. Now, do you still stay in touch with the guy?
What's crazy is that dude texts me like Friday night before every single race.
He does?
He does. I keep in touch with that man.
Dude, that is so cool.
Yeah, with my father figure. That's what's cool. He's like a brother to me. So
now, has he shown up to any races? Have you had a chance to get him there or anything?
Yeah, so I actually got him to Seattle Supercross, not last year, but the year of 2017. So it was like a whole new spark of energy. That was what was rad. Yeah, and he's working on a whole new like manufacturing job and stuff like that. He's like a manager and trying to be a builder of his company and whatnot. So I know that he had to step away and take a couple times off, but we're gonna get him back going, dude. I want him at the races and just like, dude, this is where you were. Let's you got me here. Let's keep it flushing. I love getting back to my old roots and the old people that brought me here, dude. Like, I feel like a lot of people forget where they came from.
Oh,
In this sport, yeah, it can happen at times, but you got to realize, man, like, TX, you've been a supporter since day one, bro, but I still stay in connect. We're ready.
yeah, man. I mean, you know what? That's my biggest. I tell racers all the time. To me, that's the hugest crime. That's probably the biggest crime you can do is to forget where you came from and the people that helped you get there. And I don't care if it's just a 10-cent piece. Anybody that's helped you along the way, and the list should be as long as, I mean, it should be long if you really are counting all that.
Even the diaper changer.
Yeah. I mean, it all matters. So, I mean, it's good to go back and, remember that. You get up sometimes in that big stuff, and, yeah, it does get hectic, but you still got to, it takes 30 seconds to say, hey, man, big shout-out to my military buddy, boom, and make them feel like something, That's
Yeah, for sure. And, yeah, that's the whole part of it. Like, I feel like how I am now, kind of on top of the world, and, I'm trying to, like, be doing the favor. Got to rejoice, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, that is. I haven't heard that cool story in a long time. I mean, you hear a lot of people where they came, how it went, but that's and it's really cool that you've stayed in touch. Probably be really cool if you could go riding with him sometime, right? I mean, that would just be like off the chain.
That would be super sick. I actually told him, like, I have demo bikes from a local shop still, even though that I'm on a team and whatnot. They haven't asked for them back or anything because they know my situation and all. But I've mentioned to him, like, hey, if you ever want to fly out and over to where I am, I'll get you a flight, and you can just hop on the bike and just cruise for a couple of days. I know you enjoy it, but I just know he's super swamped, and there'll be a day that we come together and have some fun for sure.
Oh yeah. Wow. I mean, man. So, I mean, you're a busy dude then. I mean, you're a real busy dude.
Yeah, I just try to keep everything flushing, like I know that the time is here and it comes by so quick, so like I'm just trying to make sure everything is colliding in the right path and choosing the right bang for the buck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I know things pass and people do as well. So it's like just trying to like make sure I take in everything that I possibly can. Trying to learn so much from the older generation as well, because sometimes it slips away. I mean, I've had years too where I just like kind of surpass all the little things, and then I look at the bigger picture, man. It's like those little things add up to big things.
Yes, it does. It does. And you gotta. I mean, people don't understand. You gotta be committed to put in the time. This stuff doesn't just happen overnight. I mean, it's
right.
You know what I mean? It's a process for sure.
Yeah, dude. You know how it goes. I mean, you're in the karting industry, dude. Like those guys are putting in laps. It's the same thing with dirt bikes, dude. We're like just putting in laps and not even on the track and off the track, dude. We're like, they're still grinding. I know all those karters, like they're going, dude, and not even they're like getting it a financial way too. They're talking to managers and trying to work out deals and get them to the next race.
Heck yeah.
So forth, like let's go racing. That's what they're all about, dude. And I'm the same way, man. So that's what's cool about the whole sports.
Oh yeah, motorsports is a wonderful deal. It doesn't matter what genre you're in. I mean, it's pretty cool. So now you went arena cross was kind of your thing for a while, right? I mean, you were killing in that, and you last year you were the West Coast Regional AX champ. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Tell us about that. I mean, you mastered that pretty quick.
For sure, that felt pretty good. Like I was just kind of learning steps and boundaries, and also trying to get my financial status up there, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little tighter quarters, and it was like more keep your elbows up, man. It's a lot of bar banging action. So it was cool. It was fun. I rode for the GPF Babbitt's Monster Energy Kawasaki team there, and we had a good time. I was fortunate to bring a victory to them, and they were like super appreciative. They gave me a ring while I was racing Supercross actually, and brought me back down to the arena cross standpoint and said, we have faith in you and we want you to strive to be better. And I was hoping if I could land this championship, then it would bring me to bigger and greater things. And it's more of a tight venue and a lot of riffraff, what I mean? So you got to get a start, dude. You got to make sure that you're shifting gears and you're in like third, fourth gear by the end of that straightaway, so you can get out of the the craziness.
Because there's a lot of squids in the back, huh?
Yeah, for sure, dude. And also, like, sometimes you end up being back there, sadly, and you got to count yourself as a squid, you know. So you're kind of locking bars with all these guys, and then you just pretty much you see your spark, and you have good starts and everything, and your confidence starts to build, and there you are, you're up on the top.
So I mean, for you, what's the biggest? I mean, obviously, other than the caliber of the talent, but I mean, what's the biggest adjustment that you had to make going from the arena cross to the supercross? Because I'd imagine even that's a pretty sizable step.
Yeah, it is, dude, and that's kind of what I'm still working on. There's a lot of movement to be made, and the procedure is so high up there for supercross compared to arena cross. But I think the adjustment has just been like surrounding yourself with good people and more structured people, because the supercross is so much bigger. So like you need to be shifting gears a lot quicker. You need to be more of a fast pace, constant on the throttle no matter what, and pounding out 15 laps instead of just going for 5 laps, because the arena cross course is 30 seconds, and then you go to supercross and we're looking at like a minute and 10 seconds. So the time doubles. You look like the variations are so much bigger. Like there's so much more abroad, where your training is, instead of 40 minutes in the gym, you're spending an hour cycling, and then you're on top of that, you have to do a little bit of some not for say weightlifting, but more agility type of lift for another extra 45 minutes. So you're adding more to your body, and just trying to be more structured, and that's what the biggest adjustment has been. Dude, I'm enjoying the process. I'm really digging it. It was sad that the arena cross had come to a close, and that was pretty much why it booted me out. But I know, you see.
No, hang on. You say come to a close. What do you mean?
Yeah, so unfortunately, last year of 2018, that was the last of the arena cross. So,
like no more ever.
Series shut down. Yeah, it's shut down. There was no sponsors that were able to bring it up, and yeah, dude, bummer deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you would think that's a hell of a stepping stone. I would think, but huh.
Yeah, and they raised it to be like the road to Supercross, right? So it's like you had to get your points and go through the structure of arena cross to get to Supercross. But I guess the people who showed up at the venue, it was very limited, and they're trying to focus more on Supercross and get that thing sold out and packed up like an NFL stadium or like a ball game stadium, which I completely understand. We need to be comparing and matching up with those people. So
yeah, but you can't. My belief too is, to some degree, you can't. You still got to have a place for those guys that maybe can't afford to go do that Supercross thing, right? I mean, you've got to have a place for people that on a budget or no help or whatever you want to call it, can go and get that experience. I mean, it's I don't know. That's a tough deal. That's a shame, actually. I had no idea that was even the case, but wow. But like anything else, it's all about a buck, right? I mean, that's pretty much everything anymore. So
yeah, dude, they're fighting tooth and nickel for bang for the buck. You already know how it is, man.
Yeah,
those managers and scouts work.
So now we've been through the beginning. We've talked to the Marine Cross. So then you jump in, and you've had some. I mean, over the past 4 or 5 years, you've had some pretty serious injuries. Some were like second time. Was it like your ankle? You've hurt twice or whatever? And so let's talk about that. I mean, did that destroy your morale, or did that make you even more fired up?
I don't know. It's like leaps and bounds, right? It's like once the ankle had occurred, it was pretty brutal on me. I was out for 8 to 9 months, and kind of kicking back, and it just made me realize and fluctuate my time where I wanted to spend, and it kind of had some downtime where I was like, you know what, do I really want to keep it going? Do I feel the fire to keep racing and all that? So you know what, like the first injury, it was it was okay, right? So you're not used to it. You're like, okay, I'm gonna bounce back from that. I'm gonna use the physical therapy to get me grinding and come back stronger, right? So I came back strong, everything was good, and then I'm 2 weeks into it, and the ankle and the pins break alongside the plate. So we're back at step one when it's completely shattered because they got to go in there and remove the pins, the plates, and now I'm gonna have shattered of the extra pins that are just laying in the bone.
And worse yet,
So
another 8 to 9 months you're laid up.
right, exactly, and that's where it fluctuates, man. And you're just like, you know what? What do? You second guess yourself. But I think that's kind of any injury, right? So, I thought about it, contemplated, and what's crazy is like you have managers that are still on your radar. If one of their guys are getting hurt, you're laying on the couch, you're 8 months in, you're ready to bounce back on the ninth month. You get a call. So I got a call from like a privateer, more say, and it was like a satellite team.
Now, what's a
Hey,
satellite team? I heard you say that earlier. What does satellite mean?
yeah. So for all you like outsiders, a satellite team is it's a no salary base offer, and so you're just getting paid on your performance. It's all based on how you do. If you get in the main event, then you're getting paid. If you're not in the main event, you're not getting paid. You're pretty much sitting slumped up on your chair back home.
Okay.
So that's pretty much what I was dealing with for a couple times. It wasn't as broad as what I'm on now. Like there was miscellaneous things that I did need to take care of and that I did have to pay for on my own. So like the team that I'm on now, Cycle Trader Rock River team, it's like way more of a boost now. But I was on a team then, and they called me shoot right after I was out for 8 months or per se, and I was just kind of in with my physical therapist, like talking about it, like, do you think we could bounce back from this ankle injury? And she says, I don't know. It's all about the pain that you feel. I mean, you have 45 to 65 degree of motion, and do you think you can ride on that? Can you bend your ankle with the foot pegs and the whoop speed depending on how you jump and all that? And I said, I don't know, man. Like, that's a heavy procedure to put on for me, right? So we had to contact the doctors to make sure that there's a special brace. There's so many little things to the racing scene that it's hard to find out, right? So it's cool that we do this interview to talk about the little things. So pretty much just got me a mold of the ankle where there was a good fit for the ankle brace, and I put myself in a boot, and I said, you know what, I think we could do this. I went to the physical therapist, it's North Idaho Physical Therapy, one of my good coaches through football. He's always like showing me the way of recovering, bouncing back, and also agility training as well. He's located there in Hayden, Idaho. And
Sweet. What's his name?
his name's Justin Kane.
Sweet.
Yep. Yeah, big part of my program and why I've been so recovering so well. We fitted back in the boot. We put our leg over the motorcycle, dude, and I actually felt really good. And that was what was so bizarre. I've been fighting for, let's say, I'm about a year and a half now of no ankle, not even walking, trying to like stationary cycle on this thing, get blood moving and making sure it's not so limp. And we hop on the motorcycle and we're ready to race like 2 months later. We're like grinding and trying to get ready. So that was cool. And then I mean, like more for say about the injury status is shoot, I'm racing about a year. I know injuries happen, and I know they do occur often if you don't take care of your body. I was so focused on racing and just trying to get to the race every single weekend. And I had a race over there in Europe. I went to Holland actually for an event, and unfortunately in practice we went out there. The ground was super super soft. I went around a left-hand turn, and went over the face of a jump, and it totally just front flipped me. Right, so I just completely landed on my back, and all of a sudden I couldn't move. But what was cool is like I felt my legs, so I knew that there was nothing too bad. But I tried to crunch over to crunch back up onto my feet, but there was no movement. So that was
That
that
was
was like, yeah,
that's a little spooky, dude.
it was spooky. Like, I wasn't even in pain. It was just the fact that I couldn't crunch up. Right. So, and also your adrenaline's rushing so much. And I mean, you know how that is. If something crazy happens, your adrenaline still is rushing, even when you're getting in trouble. That's how it is,
Yep.
just like a crime scene. So I'm like, I need to stay here for like about 10 seconds. I'm starting to breathe. They say, do not get up, do not get up, because they saw the whole entire incident, seen what happened. So I'm like 20 seconds in, and all of a sudden, man, like I just my ears start bleeding from me screaming, dude, and I had a really brutal back injury over there. Unfortunately, I didn't have really anybody over there, so they rushed me to the hospital. I was able to get up on my own, but I could not walk. So I got up. I was hunched over. I was complaining about my lower lumbars of my back, in the middle of my back, and it was a little hunched over, and they grabbed my feet. They walked me over to the stretcher, and I was just screaming. I was all hell. But um, I knew that I needed assistance, so they rushed me over to the Holland Amsterdam medical unit. Um, what was cool is like, so the insurance is different for the policy, and we have like this FIM license that it will cover the insurance policy. So I didn't really have to worry about anything like that. Like my parents haven't heard from me for a while. I'm still young. I'm still 20 years old. And I'm just kind of like sitting in the medical room, and they tell me, you have a CT, you have a T3, 4, and 5 that are fractured, as well as the lower lumbar, the 4 and 5 that are cracked. And we don't know that you need surgery right now, but we definitely need to withhold you in the hospital for a day or two to make sure that we can contact a medical unit that knows if you need surgery or not. So
Wow.
yeah, brutal situation, and the manager who had brought me over there had contacted my parents, and they were starting to schedule a flight to come on over there, and all this riff-raff. But pretty much to sum up the conclusion, I didn't need my parents to come over there. They ended up releasing me like about 8 hours later. They said, we're just gonna brace this. You don't need surgery. You have two cracks on the lower part of your back, and you have four fractures on the upper part of your back towards the middle. And that set me back, man. I was a year and 9 months. So I was almost 2 years out, just kind of relaxing, laying in bed, and without pay too. And that was the hardest thing. And I'm not collecting unemployment. I don't want to. I'm not going to force that. I don't need to do that. So that's pretty much like the hardest part of what I had to deal with. And I went back to the physical therapist, Justin Kane, and he specifically worked on me, day in and day out. I was clocking in at 8 in the morning, and I was leaving there at 11, when it's just like about only 45-minute sessions. And that was the most difficult part, but we made it happen. And I think it was about, 2 years later, I was ready to race, and I was like, you know what, like, I I feel like I still have something left in the tank. And what was crazy is I still had people that were supporting me the whole way. All these local companies were checking in with me, and knew that I had so much motivation and so much drive to keep me going. And we hopped on the bike with 2 years later, after recovery, and I still had the speed, and my mobility was great. The strength was getting there. I can't say that it was 100% because it wasn't. When you have an injury that's so
No,
severe
especially
like
your
that.
back. Yeah, for sure.
Right, right. So it's no good. It's just like any injury, so you just got to take your time, heal your body, make sure you have the people that are surrounding you is good and solid, and you're back on the program.
Wow. Dude, what a ride. What a ride. So, I mean, by this point, most people would have said, hell with it. I'm done. Forget it. But no,
Hmm.
you've stuck with it. You get the call from Cycle Trader and Rock River Yamaha. Now you're on the 450 Supercross. I mean, dude, it's just like, you couldn't, you can't write this stuff, can you?
No, I don't think so. Everyone has their story, and and life goes on. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to say, oh, bum me, whatever it is, but I feel like I had a good ride, and it's kind of more motivation for others. Like if you do have an injury or whatever, you just keep building on it, dude. That like your body is meant to grow, it is meant to bend. You don't want it to break, but bending is always an occurrence, and all the listeners and everything, when you guys do go through a situation like that, just keep grinding, man. And there's a way. If there's a will, there's a way. I believe
Dude,
that.
that's awesome advice. Here's something I really want to know. Just as a guy that likes to tinker in the shop, when you're out there doing your laps and you're doing your rides for the day, are you guys? I mean, like on cars, you're changing springs and shocks and you're screwing with different weights on different corners and that kind of stuff. But what about you guys? Are you guys adjusting anything on the bike, like the length of the swing arm, or are you different fork dampenings, or what do you guys do to tune those things?
Yeah, believe it or not, we're actually kind of in the same boat. I know you guys are changing like maybe tires and suspension on the rear and front, but we're we're changing the rear suspension consistently and also the front forks. So we're trying to make it more compatible for the both of us, the team and myself, to where we're not trying to like break into the suspension and add more shims to the stack, and likewise like that. And yeah, we're trying to move as much as possible. We don't want to make too much adjustment and throw ourselves off, because if we can corner, they tell us, then just kind of keep it smooth, man. Don't over engineer anything. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Just keep it to your basics, and we'll fluctuate with that. They've done so many testing over the years with big names like Chad Reed and Ricky Carmichael and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? But yeah, we're pretty much in the same situation. We're still testing and trying to engineer everything like that the best we can. Um, but we're just kind of mainly focused on the motor and how hard it's hitting and the suspension wise. But we don't really focus on tires or
So air
anything like the
pressure isn't
ride.
an issue or anything like that.
You know what? We do fluctuate with the air pressure in the front forks, so we're like going back and forth from a spring fork to an air fork, and the we're having problems with the air fork that is kind of it's building air as the motos go on, if as we're 15 minutes in or per se, and also losing air if the weather is not so great. But right now we're at such a good feeling and such a good like a spec right now
Mm-hmm.
that man, we're just like, you hop on the bike, you're ready to ride, the mechanics got the bike ready, and dude, we're ready to send it for the boys.
So you guys are. I mean, is he checking air for the jets for the motor? Is he? I mean, you guys doing plug checks after every run, or what? What?
So it's like not really that, because it's fuel injected, so we don't have to mess with the car. But he's adjusting the front fork pressure, making sure that that is set to whatever we're running to. I think we're running like 438 psi in the front, and then he's also checking how much sag we have in the rear. In the motor, it's pretty much like we have an app that you download for Yamaha Motorsports, and that's what's cool about the Yamaha bikes is you download the app, you plug in your VIN number, you dial in what the tuning is supposed to be, and it will jet itself, computerized. So that's what's cool about the
Wow.
whole Yamaha Motorsports 450, dude. And I've been so I don't know, just so pleased to ride the bike, man. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you just jump on the bike and it's ready to go.
Well, now the like 16, 17, 15 even, you were on a Kawasaki. How what's been the is there one you like better?
Mm.
Is it Yamaha
Um,
easier to ride? Does it have different characteristics than the Kawasaki, or is it very similar?
yeah, I don't know. It's totally like rider preference, but for me, the Yamaha has suited my style so much more. We've done now that I've actually done testing. I'm 23 years old, I finally began testing, which is a little bizarre, but it's working for me, and I think, yeah, it's different, with the manufacturers and how your riding style is. If you're more on the bike and like in the rear or in the front, I ride the bike in the rear, and the Yamaha likes to track a lot better in the rear. And if you're for say on a Kawasaki, it's more in the front or in the middle, So I'm digging the Yamaha, dude. I think that's like more my suit, and I think we're just gonna keep clicking some gears and get ourselves some results, and I think the team will be satisfied for myself, and not only that, like my family and everyone who supports me, we're gonna be ready to go.
Right. Now I saw February 2nd. They had a roll. Well, that was just last night. Did you ride last night?
I did.
And where was that? Was that that wasn't in San Diego? That was at Pedro Park or
Yeah, no,
Petco Park. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. It was Petco Park, and I forget what baseball team that is. I should know. I mean,
where was it?
But it's in that was actually in San Diego.
Okay.
So yeah, we finished it off in San Diego. It wasn't the greatest hit for me, but we got around. The mud hit. It was super gnarly there, but
where'd you end up?
I had a good time, and oh shoot,
I think you were 10th. Oh, I think I saw you were 10th in your heat and 17th in the LCQ.
Right.
So you were one out of the money.
Yeah, one out of the money. That's how it goes. But we're gonna just keep trucking, and tomorrow I'm actually flying out to Denmark for another event, and we're just trying to make some money here at this racing scene.
Yeah, how does that come about? Are you still riding for your Cycle Trader team, or are you you go over there as an independent, or how does that work?
Yeah, what's cool about that is that we've signed an agreement to where I'm able to do this off race that I've been planned, and they're working with me so I can get overseas and make a little bit of money on the side there. And I'm still with them. We're going to start up at Dallas, and I think we have Dallas, Detroit, Michigan, Atlanta, Georgia, Daytona, and a couple other rounds to finish off with them. So that's what's neat about it. They're staying with me. They know that they see that I can progress.
Right.
So,
but overseas, how does did they just ask you to come over, or how does that work?
I've had some good results in the past, and that's pretty much what suited it. I met with some people when I was in Europe like 2 or 3 weeks ago in Germany, and I have an agent over there that's kind of making some deals and working sideways over there, if you know what I mean.
Dude.
Yeah, so it's like everything's coming together, man. Like,
yeah,
the money here in the motorsports industry isn't the greatest. They're starting to learn how to shovel through. I don't want to tell them like, hey, this is what you need to do, but from an outsider and a person who is racing, we see that you're not shuffling the money through the sport, So it's like we're gonna try to find some money that's maybe not in the States or somewhere elsewhere.
Heck yeah, man! For real. You got to go with them ducats for sure. Mm-hmm. Wow. So when are you gonna get your private plane?
I wish. That's a dream, Matt.
It sounds like you might need it. Shoot, you're going over to Denmark and Germany, man. It's like, wow.
I need to call up Floyd Money Mayweather, man. Hey, get this thing rolling, dude. Let's go.
Yeah. You think you can box? Let's see if you can ride one of these. Guaranteed. It's going to be a little bit of a different story here.
Right?
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Well, hey, man, I know you're getting ready to head out, and you got to catch a plane early in the morning. You still got to pack, but I just want to say, dude, I am I mean, you got to, I mean, and I told you this before, but I mean, you've got a heart of a lion, man, and I just love that throughout all the maybe the low times, you've still managed to keep that chin up and the head up and keep plugging. And nobody's more tickled than I am, because I remember back 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago when your mom and you were getting ready to start this, and we chatted about, trying to get help and what you need to do and all this stuff. And man, I'm just so proud of you. I mean, I'm just so proud of you. I mean, it's
I
awesome.
appreciate it, TS. Like, there's so many people that helped me and who brought me to this level, you know. So what's cool is that I'm such a local hometown boy, and maybe that it was meant to be for me to be such a small town kid to come where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like I realize and I know all the people who like yourself who've just been like supporting me and backing me like 100%, if not more, you know, texting me when times are rough. That's when you need people to be brought up. And um yeah, dude, I'm so stoked. I'm glad I've went through what I've went through and overcame the situations that I've been through, and it's brought me to be a better man than more expected, right? So it's been cool, dude, and I'm just ready to keep working at it. And you're right, man. I'm like a liger, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a lion and a tiger mixed in, and
Oh
I keep
yeah,
going.
man.
And I believe in myself just as much as you do, and as much as my family does. And I'm gonna keep them behind me as much as possible, and we're just gonna keep cruising.
Yeah, dude. And, and if there's anything I learned in my time in it is, at the end of the day, I mean, it truly is about the struggle. I mean, the wins and all that stuff that's neat, but that's just a benefit. It's the road trips that you remember. It's the, man, I remember when we had to do this and that and this, and I mean it's all about the struggle. So, so many racers miss that because they're so caught up in the winning deal, and I know that's important, but I think a guy needs to realize too, just go through this and enjoy the whole process. The good, the bad, the indifferent. Good times, bad times. I mean, it's just about the struggle.
Definitely, dude. And I think it's taken me a couple years to really realize that and to sit in where I'm at. I'm 23, and maybe I'm just realizing it or whatever, you know, or I just haven't had the opportunity to enclose the chance. But you know, that's where we're at. We're at a point in my life where that's what I'm doing, and it's manageable. I'm having so much fun with it. I'm enjoying the process, like you're saying, and dude, that's what makes me happy and keep me going, right? If you're not happy, you're not cruising.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, I mean, and if I could give you any advice, it was just that is so many people forget. I mean, when you first got into this thing, you didn't care about winning. That was the furthest thing from your mind. You weren't even thinking about winning. It was that love of the bike, getting on it, riding it. So many guys forget that, and they go through, and then they start. It's all about the win. Oh, I gotta, man. Remember why you got on the damn bike in the first place, and enjoy that, and then watch your results go through the roof, right? Because you're riding for the right reasons. Then I mean, if you're riding just for the money, forget it, man. I just think that's the wrong way to do it. I mean, hey, you gotta make a living. I get that, but at the end of the day, I think you got to ride for the love of the sport and the love of what you're doing, rather than for the stinking W. That's just
Yeah, you know it like firsthand for sure. The results don't show, you know, if you're not running for fun. If you're focused on you need to perform here or you need to be the best here.
yeah.
So you get that spot on, TS. That's
Yep.
how it goes, dude.
It is.
I appreciate you getting me on the show, dude. I'm stoked, and hopefully we got some listeners that take the chance and listen to a little bit of my perspective. And I've learned over the years too from bigger names as well. So I'm just gonna keep that word cruising and moving along.
Well, dude, I think what would be cool for you is you're so good with people and stuff. It might be a cool thing to start your little like a Ryan Breece little mini deal where you're getting kids and showing them how to ride and getting them the love that you had when you were 5 years old. That would be a super killer deal where you could have
Right.
like a little boot camp. These kids can come and get loving the sport. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm gonna focus on me a little bit more. I know I got a couple more years left, and can keep grinding, and then I I'll take that info and we'll keep going from there.
Heck yeah, man. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for being on the show, buddy, and good luck over there in Denmark. And shoot, man, I mean, hey, the sky's the limit for you, man. You got the world by the tail, so just go ride your fanny off. You know what I mean?
Hey, TS, I appreciate it, man, and all your work. It's been great, dude, for sure.
No problem.
Good hearing from you.
No problem, man. All right, everybody. Ryan Breece was our guest tonight, and let me tell you, this guy's got a heart of a lion. He's going to go places. Check him out on the Cycle Trader Rock River Yamaha 450 in the Monster Energy Supercross Series. He's going to be doing some good things. It might take him a little while to get acclimated, but hey, Ryan Breece, number 21. Remember it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's been another edition of In the Groove. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. I'm your horsepower performance host, Terry Bridges. Good night, everybody.
What's up, race fans? This is the real deal, Chris Kidd, and you're listening to the Northwest Race Report.